Greetings, everyone. My name is Tarun Gangwani. I'm a product manager at Twitch, focused on game communities and the developer lifecycle and services. And I'm really excited to talk to you about driving engagement with your game communities on Twitch. And with me presenting today is Robbie Lim, Alliances and Partnerships Lead on the Twitch community side as well. First, I'd like to give you a review of Twitch's growth and how that impacts your game and your ability to succeed on our platform. Twitch has been known for creating awesome streaming and viewing experiences for millions of viewers around the world. Here you can see the latest evolution of streaming, which we've dubbed multiplayer entertainment. Multiplayer entertainment means that viewers and streamers create the live experience together. This is an example of an extension, which is one of the products we produce in order for game developers to provide a unique viewing and streaming experience of their titles. You can browse in real time game information that is coming from the game and syncs to what the streamer is playing. And this level of intimate interaction is something that only Twitch provides and has provided dividends for game developers that invest in what we do. Our mission is to enable creators to make a living, entertaining and empower communities to create together. We have millions and millions of viewers every day coming to the site to find your content, your titles, and wanting to see firsthand what it's like to be able to not only watch a game, but actually feel like they're part of the experience. We have millions of streamers each month and onboarding more and more every day. These influencers and personalities are the tastemakers of your titles, and it's essential to capture their interest in minds and hearts so that they can capture your future players and audiences. And of course, that all translates to billions and billions of minutes watched, and I know myself, I've spent quite a few of them. Our vision for how we work with you is twofold. Twitch and game publishers share these communities. Broadcasters, viewers, and players are fans of the game. They really are excited and enthusiastic, and those fans are the same fans that would be your player base. And so what we intend to do is strengthen the relationship between content creators and their fans. And by content creators, we don't just mean streamers, we mean the game publishers and game developers themselves. We often get asked, is there an ideal game for Twitch? Is there a game that if I produce it, it'll get picked up, hit the #1? And I wanted to dwell on that question today to make sure that it was made clear that it's not necessarily a type of genre or a type of game that performs well or doesn't perform well. That's not necessarily the case. What it really comes down to is a title's ability to engage creators and viewers. This is the marketplace that publishers are playing in right now and looking to attract the attention of our communities in such that they can eventually engage those communities to become players of those games, and those players of those games eventually come back to Twitch to view more. So the best games are ones that engage creators, particularly those that amplify the creators' experiences and are just approachable for people to play. And then for viewers that are engaging for viewers, not only from a single modal sense, which is just watching, but also those that cause interaction, cause a meaningful experience for the viewers to want to stay engaged with the game. So these are some nice to have attributes for games. That being said, one of them is repeatability. So typically if the game has a core central loop that can be repeated over and over, like a live services game or a MMORPG or something similar, those are really popular on Twitch because they have a sense of community built into the game, but they also have a sense of being able to try different strategies and different ways of playing. And so other people can optimize around that, which leads to skill level. People come to Twitch to not only get a firsthand glimpse of your title, but also see the best of what the title has to offer. We've seen some of the biggest launches today involve players and streamers specifically try different ways of playing the game, and different styles become emergent as the game progresses. And that's really key because it makes the content inherently fresh for the viewers to be able to observe. And to speak back to the repeatability and how that ties to community, Community is a central cornerstone for every great game. And so if a game can involve and continue the conversation with viewers and streamers when offline or while playing, we believe that those games typically perform well. This is an example of a representative game lifecycle on Twitch. If a game studio just launches a great game and then continues to have it remain relevant and outputs regular content updates. And what I want to impress upon you all as the audience today is that actually there's ways to amplify this entire experience. There's ways to create moments around your game, not only around the new releases or the announced moments or the launch moments you decide to employ, but also by doing that in tandem and leveraging some of the experiences, the solutions, the products that we have to offer. So at announce, at release, and when you have upcoming DLCs and patches, Twitch can run alongside those moments within your game and create beats around it that engage streamers, re-engage players, and re-engage streamers, and continue this life cycle. And to talk to you more about that life cycle and how it relates to the Flywheel, I'd like to turn it to Robbie.
Thanks, Tarun. So at Twitch, we think about this game Flywheel a lot. And I think the key to growth on Twitch is really getting this flywheel right. And we've seen a lot of developers and publishers really nail this, especially recently. And it's led us to believe that there's really three main pillars of the flywheel. The first is to get creators to adopt, getting creators to play the game, to engage with the content, to really go deep and be the forefront of the community for the game. That leads to viewers watching and engaging with the content. And then, finally, when you have enough creators playing the game and viewers engaged, you start to see more awareness rising. And that really means like it getting buzz on Twitter or the press talking about it or Reddit sub-communities, really driving more back to the game and more back to the community. And this is really the flywheel that we think unlocks growth on Twitch. And if you turn to the next slide here, the thing that most publishers we work with have come to, I think, believe, and I'm aligned with this, is basically that getting this flywheel right and becoming popular on Twitch and getting more viewership on Twitch and more creators to play really leads to more user acquisition. So that means more people playing the game and ultimately more revenue for the game itself. And to take this forward, I think what we've learned in the past 24 months really is that we can impact this flywheel. So on the next slide, Twitch will not sort of make the game, but we can amplify and we can work with game developers to really amplify those big moments. So we think of this as three main strategies, and that's influencer programs to really help the creator adoption side. That's integrations. Those are things like drops and extensions and interactivity that really make the viewer experience a lot better and make viewers turn out to watch and engage. And then there's an amplification side, which is really augmenting the initial experience. That could be a Twitch reveals of new content. It could be something like social media marketing. A final thing is maybe a Twitch Rivals event where we have some of our top creators come and participate in an online competition that Twitch throws alongside in a partnership with the publisher to really raise awareness of the game. And so in the next slide, here's an illustrative best-in-class game launch. Now, most game launches, I'd say almost everyone, doesn't have everything on this slide. And we won't really go into detail here, but we'd rather kind of take you through a bunch of case studies in which we've worked with publishers to launch games on Twitch that have done really well, and we can highlight select programs and things that we've done together that have really helped impact the game. So I think we'll start off with a couple game launches in action. And the first one we want to talk about is Apex Legends. And Apex Legends was, I think, truly a pretty historic game launch in that it was one of the games that pretty much, I'd say one of the main marketing strategies was to get streamers to play the game on Twitch. And they were really tactical and smart about who they partnered with. The battle royale genre is competitive. They were able to select influencers that played the game in the initial launch. And a number of those influencers continued to play the game after the launch. And that really evolved into a long-term, sustained community on Twitch. And it's still one of the top games. But you can see the numbers on the right. The launch was spectacular in terms of viewership, in terms of active users and people playing the game. On the next slide, we kind of lay out the timing and what each partner kind of did. But you can see the streamer seed program, which is basically getting a select number of streamers to play this game right during the announce and amplifying that with announcement co-streams. And then at launch, there was a lot of social media promotion of the game. And we've actually done 2 Rivals events with Apex Legends. And we mentioned this earlier, but that's where we've been able to get streamers to play the game in a competitive setting that Twitch throws. So in the next slide, this is a relatively a new product that we've launched last year, and it was with Kojima Productions. So Kojima Productions was working on a major game for years, and the community was very curious what this game was. And we worked with Kojima to really reveal the trailer of Death Stranding to the world for the first time on Twitch. And the way this worked was Kojima Productions made a bunch of kind of cryptic tweets leading up to the event that were basically saying that we're going to reveal something on Twitch on a certain day. And viewers really came together, and we saw a huge viewership for this event early on. But what was kind of cool about this was that we had a bunch of hands, as you can see on the screen, covering up the trailer. And as more folks came in, more viewers came in to watch the stream, more hands disappeared. And so you could see more of the trailer itself. And it peaked at 170,000 concurrents. I think it was hugely successful. You could see the chat just really react to this moment where they were bringing in their friends, trying to get the concurrence higher so that we could really reveal more of the game and lift more of those hands out. So in the next slide, I only talked about the reveals program here, but they also have done streamer seed programs. They did social media at launch, and we really enjoyed watching this game come to life and watching the community unearth this experience together.
One thing I really loved about that previous launch, by the way, is just how a game publisher and developer can take an existing asset like a trailer and turn it into a moment. That's something that traditionally, we've only just started to see, where instead of just putting a trailer out there or actually using a different event to showcase that trailer, Kojima Productions decided to make the trailer reveal a moment for themselves. And that earned them that audience and earned them the CCU they saw. And they just did that through sheer partnership with us. So that's something to keep in mind throughout this, is that much of what we're providing you is a way to control your destiny for how you want your game to be presented to the world. And I think Kojima did a really good job of that. So yeah, let's talk about Borderlands 3 by a company called Gearbox Software. Borderlands is a beloved franchise in the gaming community. And so when a new title for Borderlands comes out, there's obviously going to be a lot of enthusiasm. But in this release, Gearbox decided to take it a step further. They released the Echocast Extension. Extensions are overlay experiences on video that allows viewers and streamers to interact with one another In this extension, you can see the streamer who's playing the game, enjoy the experience of Borderlands 3. But what has often happened, and in fact, what's instantiated this request internally in Gearbox to start the exploration, was the fact that many viewers ask the streamers, "Hey, what weapon is that? What item are they currently using, or what's the character have equipped?" Many of these questions come up all the time, and as a streamer, that can be a really daunting task to engage this community, over and over and kind of go back and forth between chat, while simultaneously viewers just want to watch the show, So what's happening here is the extension is offering a glimpse into the streamer's inventory. It's reducing the burden on the streamer to be able to provide that information ad nauseum to chat, but also it gives Gearbox a control over the marketing and the message and the brand that is Borderlands 3. All the assets here came directly from the game, and the data that is actually powering this extension also comes from real-time metadata coming directly from the game as well. So the end result is a very powerful, intimate streaming and viewing experience. And that translated in the numbers. It saw the highest performing launch for games within that same genre on Twitch on day 0, day 7, and day 30. For the same types of games, it lifted their presence on Twitch, and it was because they leaned into Twitch's strategy, not only with an extension, but combined that with the ability to seed the game with streamers and influencers. Fans of the game who already were engaged with Gearbox now become the tastemakers of the game, and the extension takes the rest of the burden off the streamer. Coupled with social media performance and Twitch reveals, this was a slam dunk release for Gearbox, and we're thrilled to be able to see engagements like this from companies that are bullish about the idea of multiplayer entertainment. We also partnered with Riot Games on an extension that was built in-house with their partnership. League of Legends is one of the top games on Twitch, if not consistently the top game on the platform. A lot of that has to do with the game. Like I mentioned, certain games that are repeatable, have a community around it, will get engagement there. But there's also titles that take that to the next level and also create an extension to extend the life cycle of the game. So while League is a consistently performing title, Riot still wants to push the needle for what it means for viewers to watch the game. And one of the biggest goals they had with this extension launch and working with us was they wanted to make League approachable. They wanted multiple viewers to be able to not only watch League, but understand the mechanics of the game. So they worked with us to build this extension, and you can see here, this is a scoreboard that's being pulled up in real time, again, powered by game data that is streaming from the gamer or the streamer's device and being displayed here as an extension overlay. And you can see things such as the summoners, the actual legends in play. You can look at the kill count, the stats of what's happening, the creep score. As the game progresses, you can see when the towers have been taken down. You can see when certain champions are attacked, and various other mechanics of the game that are particular to the way the experience works. Now, that is now in the hands of the viewer. So this is an example of a great game, a live service game, still pushing the needle on what it means to be a great game to watch and to play. So in addition to creating a content management extension well after the game is launched, so the way we're discussing this plan is kind of a moment around the extension. We partnered with League and the Riot team to create an engagement called League Week, which was a really exciting partnership that pulled together everyone in Twitch, all hands on deck, to create an awesome moment for Riot around the launch of this extension, but also for the Worlds event, which is a major event for Riot and the 10th anniversary of the game. So combining the big moment for Riot that had already existed with an awesome game and an awesome extension, it pushed them into a new stratosphere of engagement and activity, and we were really excited to work with them on this campaign. I'll give it back to Robbie to talk about a couple more engagements that we've run with the game developers. This one from an indie developer called Clay.
Yeah, so we've really enjoyed working with Clay and kind of see them, adopt new strategies and from a marketing perspective here. They are using a product mainly called Drops. And what Drops is basically the ability to give in-game items or other things really, but in this case it's in-game items to people to viewers who tune in to watch streamers on Twitch. So you watch a bunch of Don't Starve streams, and in this case, you would get a salt shaker that you can use in the game. And what's unique about this is that Don't Starve is kind of an open world in which you're gathering a bunch of different items and you're crafting items together to create things that help you survive. And as a result, in-game items are essential to surviving in this world. And so that's what really Clay has been dropping, is like unique items that help you perform and help you do better in the game itself. And what we've learned is that viewers actually really love free stuff in the game. And they'll do a lot to get that. So they come out, and you can see the numbers here, but when we launch a Drops campaign with Clay, and this is the first one we did, I think it was back in 2018, we saw a massive hours watched increase. We saw a very high engagement, a ton of chat messages, and we gave a lot of items away to the game community. And what Clay has done is they've actually built a cycle that repeats itself, whereas every 3 to 6 months, they will drop new items on Twitch. And every single time they do that, we see the numbers go up, we see hours watched go up, we see new streamers come into the game, and we see new viewers. So if you look at the next slide, we're only looking at a snapshot in time, but really it's running a drop in the game, promoting it on social media, and rinsing and repeating that over time with new items. And that has driven incredible engagement for this community, and we're looking forward to future projects with Clay. So finally, just wrapping it all up, this is a very recent event, but Riot, as you know, launched Valorant. Valorant, as we say, has entered the game. And Valorant did a lot of things right. It had a lot going for it in the beginning with the community and whatnot, but really it did break single-day viewership records on Twitch. And this is for a game that's still in beta. It hasn't even launched yet. They lined up really a bunch of streamers, a bunch of the top streamers to play this game. We worked with them to have exclusive beta codes that were dropped to viewers. So similar to the Clay mechanic, if you watched streams on Twitch, you're able to get a beta code for the game, and that was the only place to get it. And it drove massive concurrent viewership, massive hype for the game. We're really excited for what's to come. Shortly thereafter, we actually threw a Rivals event where we got a bunch of streamers to compete, and that was another huge moment on Twitch as well. So the game hasn't launched yet. We're looking forward to what's to come. If you look at the next slide here, I think this is one that did a lot of things that really came together in a very thoughtful way and made an incredible splash on Twitch, and I'm sure will continue to attract interest from the community. So to wrap this up, the last slide of this section, there really are a bunch of ways to drive the Twitch flywheel. And remember, it's about getting creators to adopt the game. That drives viewership. And then finally, it's raising awareness through amplification. And I think we tried to provide a number of examples here that show different ways that publishers really leaned into Twitch and created some new experiences, but also used some relatively older products that have been around for a while to drive engagement with the community. And we think this serves as a useful framework to think about when you're launching your game, or when you're revealing a new moment, or when you have an update through a DLC. This all applies to these major gaming moments. It applies even when you don't have something new coming out. To think about this framework, to think about this flywheel, and how you as a publisher can really impact that. And Twitch, we're definitely here to work with you. And we will discuss ways that we can support you later in this deck.
Everything you saw, as Robbie mentioned, is something that you can get started, turnkey, or engage with us directly, and really create these moments for yourselves. The first thing you need to do is log on to dev.twitch.tv and sign up for a developer account. And all you need for a developer account is a Twitch account. You single sign on to our developer experience, and from there, you can request what's called an organization. A Twitch developer organization unlocks everything on Twitch from a product standpoint for you to be able to create the moments and experiences that will engage viewers and streamers. Organizations allow you to invite members of your team to build extensions collaboratively, to create drop campaigns, to start bounty board campaigns, and to own the experience of your game in terms of being able to manage its box art presence and more. Another really awesome feature of having an extension is viewing the health of your game. Built into the developer console are analytics for your title. You can see up to 30 different metrics within this dashboard, including unique viewership, total views, concurrent views, hours watched, hours broadcast. This intelligence provides you a layer of understanding when you run a campaign, either with our support or on your own with whatever you decide to do. And you'll be able to see how your game performs on a day-by-day basis. We also have a pretty cool feature where across every channel on Twitch, we'll pull the top clips that have been clipped and viewed by our community. So you can use that for evergreen content or to be able to share on social media or similar. If you're ready to actually take the step of integrating Twitch with your game, our developer documentation gives you a full 360 view of getting started, sending your first hello world call, or being able to build a world-class extension like some of the ones you saw. You can also learn how to create a drops campaign and more about the Insights products that I mentioned before. So that wraps up the playbook and presentation that we've provided today. And I really hope this gives you a sense of not only all of the capabilities that Twitch has to enable reach for your title, but also how easy and how approachable it is for any game developer. Whether you're an indie developer or a AAA studio, you have the ability to unlock these tools to reach your communities and grow your game. If you want to get started, you can check out those resources I showed you before, or you can connect with us on the forum. Visit discuss.dev.twitch.tv/c for a category /game-dev, or just visit the top level Discuss forums and you'll be able to find the game developer forum and start a conversation. Also on our website, you can find links to our Discord community and also other information and some of the case studies you heard today. I want to thank the Amazon team for putting on such a great event and be able to virtually connect with the community. There's so much more to explore. Please explore the other talks and demos from today's event. They're going to be posted live alongside our own. And for follow-up questions, you can stop by the Ask the Experts section and speak with AWS and Twitch experts, including ourselves. And for more details on this presentation, check out the Resource Center. Thanks for your time, and thanks for listening.
Thank you.